But we start with the big fella in Philadelphia, Danny, with Joel Embiid. For one, I got to be real, Danny. I was disappointed and I was upset at Joel Embiid for not playing in that game against Nikola Jokic. Now, I did not say that he was ducking the smoke. I just simply said I was disappointed because this is a matchup that we all want to see. Nonetheless, we see what's happened now with Joel Embiid, who suffered, looked like a different injury to his knee against the Golden State Warriors on Tuesday night. Before we get to Kendrick Perkins' comments about what they should do with Embiid, what is your reaction to all of the fallout between not playing Jokic and now getting the injury and the 65-game limit to be an MVP? All of those things combined make Joel Embiid quite a fascinating story.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were disappointed not to see him play in Denver. Regardless if he played or not, they were very much shorthanded, and it wouldn't have been the same matchup they had in Philly. Tyrese Maxey was out, Tobias Harris. They had a number of guys that were out. And I think that played a part into why Joel was like, you know what, why would I force the issue to play against somebody when I'm shorthanded my team? It wouldn't have been a fair match regardless. But then he played the Golden State game and got hurt. And, I don't know if you heard, but Draymond had some comments as well and thought the 65-game rule was BS and didn't like it, and you're forcing Embiid to play. And I get it, certain things, but it now forces guys to be careful or choose wisely how they rest, because you don't want to rest and you might have an injury. So you got to take that to mind. If you're a guy that always has injuries, you may not need to rest that much. Now, do I think that they should change it? Somewhat, but I think I like the rule. I like that there should be a rule. You guys shouldn't be able to have certain accolades, certain bonuses, or be put on certain teams if you don't play at least, 3/4 of the season. I think they should probably lower it to 62. I think anything more than 20 games should take you out of contention. Now, 65, no, there should be a little grace period. I think 60 should be like the max. 22 games at 60, 22 games should be the
But
max you can
Danny,
miss.
but trust me, as somebody who grew up watching 90s basketball, and I saw the stat today, Michael Jordan in at least 10 of his seasons played 70 games or more. Like, that type of stuff is applauded, or 80 games or more. Like, that stuff was applauded, and that's definitely one I want to see from teams. But let's just say I was a media member who had a vote. I could also just say, hey, listen, Joel Embiid's 60 games is more valuable than, no shots at Pascal Siakam, more valuable than 80 Pascal Siakam games. And that could very well end up being the case. Pascal Siakam gets a front court spot and Joel Embiid doesn't get a spot at all. Like, I understand the premise behind it and I applaud it because I want to see guys hoop every single day. I watch basketball every single day. I want to see the stars out there. But at the same time, as it pertains to me qualifying who are the best players at each position in the NBA, I can judge that. I'm like, yo, your 60 games just wasn't as impactful as Joel Embiid's. Your 82 games wasn't as impactful as his.
But when I say there's the point of when there's the next guy behind him is not that far of a drop off. MVP is Nikola Jokic, still an MVP candidate. You're talking about not Joel Embiid, and you got Domantas Sabonis. These are guys that deserve to have these positions. That they're playing 80 games, they're playing 75 plus games a year, and then the other guys playing less than 60. I would think the person that played the other deserves to get that position. Now, I'm saying 65 maybe a little bit on the line. We're teetering of a very fine line of there's no rest games. For somebody that gets injured. I think there has to have some type of grace period, a little bit of space. So I think that the good line is at 60. 60 games is good. Anything less than 60, now I'm like, all right, you missed too many games. You missed 23 games. That's a good part of the season, man, where we can't judge you. And what I'm saying? There's no way, I don't care how valuable you are, and those 58 games, somebody that's playing 79, there's a big difference, bro. I can't see it being more valuable, a better season than somebody played 79 games. That's played 20 more games than you.
I just honestly, Danny, I don't think there's one resolution. I just wish we weren't at this place. I wish we weren't in a position where we had to vote for all NBA team, and those all NBA votes, which mandate players play X amount of games, is what then rewards the players for playing in those games. Back in the day, I don't believe there was a financial reward for being all NBA second team. But now with the super bonus and the super maxes, all of those things qualify. I'm sure that maybe not as aggressive as it is now.
Bonuses.
Outside of the salary cap structure, But within the NBA salary cap structure, I don't think that was there. And so I just wish we weren't there. And I will say this, I'm almost glad that I'm talking to you. Part of the reason why we're here is because of load management, which was famously, I think, started in your former place of employment in San Antonio.
Well, one of the things Draymond did say was that Kawhi won Defensive Player of the Year over him, and he played 51 games. I don't know if that's true. I didn't look up the numbers, but if that was the case, I'd argue that fact if I was him as well, because somebody that played 51 games out of 82, that means he missed 30-something games. That's a lot of games to miss to win an award of that
31.
stature.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, and the next person in line ain't no slouch. So for somebody else to win it, whether it's Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, a Dwight Howard, a Marc Gasol, those guys, if it wasn't Kawhi Leonard, then it's like, all right, this guy played 75 games. He's not a big drop off from Kawhi to, like, I'm saying, somebody that's not on a defensive team. So I'm okay for that. I'm okay with that. But we do need to find the good line of where people are more comfortable, because 65 is, I said, Joel, it doesn't seem like he's missed a bunch of games, but he's only 5 games left of being sitting out, where it exemplifies him from winning MVP or these other awards. When I think, the real line should be like, a good 20 games, maybe 22. So anything under 60 games, I think. So.
Yeah, it would seem as if Joel Embiid at this point is not going to win the MVP. And I know in certain sports books, you can't even place a wager on him to win MVP because he's so close to that barrier of missing the minimum game mark, which leads
there might be a wager of him missing the games. You might have a
it might be a wager of him missing the entire season, or at least according to Kendrick Perkins. On Wednesday night, Kendrick Perkins on NBA Countdown offered a suggestion that the 76ers should absolutely just bench Joel Embiid for the rest of the season. Not wait till the MRI results reveal more further data. Just rule them out for the rest of the season, because we've seen Joel Embiid not look too good when he's out there. Ramona Shelburne reported before the Denver Nuggets game that Joel Embiid couldn't jump. And if you watch the Warriors game, there were moments when people were driving the lane, and I hadn't seen Joel be that vulnerable in the paint as a defender. He just doesn't have the lift right now. And to Kendrick's point, the Philadelphia 76ers are set up really well come this summer. They're going to have 2 max salary slots and still have the ability to retain Tyrese Maxey. And obviously Joel Embiid, if you look at his history, unfortunately, every single postseason, I think over the last 5 to 6 years, he's had some injury that has hindered him in a minor or in a major, or at least in a minor way for the Philadelphia 76ers. It sounds crazy, Danny. It sounds crazy to sit a guy who's playing at the MVP level, not a MVP level, the MVP level. But at the same time, considering his injury history, let's just say this. I don't think it should be ruled out.
I'm going to stop you right there, because not only does it sound crazy, it is crazy. And I love Perk. That's my dog. And he has some great takes. Some of them are very funny. They're good hot takes, and some of them make a lot of sense. This one was absolutely absurd, bro. There's no way you sit this. You're handicapping Nick Nurse in a win now situation. This ain't no way. And who are you really going to get? Who's going to be a free agent this summer that you're going to get? I don't care how much cap. You have to trade for somebody. There ain't many great free agents that are this summer happening where you're just going to pick somebody up and sign. They're going to come to Philly.
Use Max.
No.
And use
you have
Max
to trade for this. Yeah, you have to trade for that person. First of all. Second of all, this is a win now situation. This ain't no, let's wait till the summer. And this summer, Joel Embiid might be halfway out the door to New York. You don't know where he's going to be. Where his mind is. Oh, we didn't win now, or they did this, they handicapped, we didn't do what we expected, or I didn't like the way that the team shut me down, or organization, or how Nick coached. I don't know who he's bringing in. I might not like the moves that they bring in, or even the trades or pickups or signees they make this summer. If I'm Joel Embiid, he might be on the, let me try to see, push his way out of there. Who knows? But it's a win now situation. And at the end of the day, my point is, you cannot put your team in that type of scenario with a win now situation where they have no rhythm going into the playoffs. When you have Tyrese Maxey playing the way he's been playing, Tobias Harris having a pretty good year and adjusting to Nick Nurse, and the pieces you have. Now you could trade and make some pick up a good piece. But with the piece you have now, you need to get over that hump and at least make the Eastern Conference Finals. There is no losing in the second round this year for Philly. I don't care what you talk about, try to do, or try to scientifically let's rest them for this next season. No, we can't wait. There's no waiting till next year or this summer anymore for Philly. They have to get it done
Mm.
because the organization, the fans, a lot of people are on very much edge of seeing what's going to happen. And if it doesn't get to where it happens, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people with how that production came about.
Yeah, that's totally true. And Joel Embiid, the only MVP to never make it to the conference finals. I'm sure that is something that is potentially weighing on him. And the way the team is structured, if I'm him, I'm obviously I'm upset if I lose any round. But unless it's the Boston Celtics, I should feel, if I'm Joel Embiid, that I should win the playoff series because I'm that damn good. And I'm that
Exactly.
damn good.
And you got the
So
coach that you wanted. You got the coach that you wanted. And who else now the only other person that you match up with, can you outbeat can you outcoach Doc? Can you beat Doc? That's the Milwaukee Bucks. So the only two teams that we have to worry about is Boston, Milwaukee. And to me, you got the guy you wanted. You guys let go of Doc. And this guy should be able to outcoach Milwaukee, or y'all should be able to outplay Milwaukee if y'all match up with them. So the only other team that's acceptable in the Eastern Conference Finals, you should be playing them, is the Boston Celtics.